Thanks for choosing RwandaTV News tonight. I am Isabel Masozera with my colleague
Sam Kalisa.
All right, now to kick off this bulletin, here is our top story.
All right, we'll start off on the local scene as on Monday evening, President Paul Kagame joined virtually the 40th anniversary of Rwanda-Rhineland Palatinate partnership with Mal Dreyer, the Minister President of Rhineland Palatinate, Svenja Schulz, who is the Minister for Economic Cooperation and Development, and Dr. Sierk Poiting, Chief Operating Officer of the BioNTech Group. The following were his remarks.
The partnership has been there for the last 40 years, and it is a pleasure for me to join you tonight to mark the 40th anniversary partnership between Rhineland Palatinate and Rwanda. I thank Minister President Mal Dreyer for the kind invitation, and I wish I could have joined you personally. Allow me to appreciate the warm welcome and gracious hospitality during my last visit to Mainz. I thank the people of Rhineland Palatinate for the contributions made to our country's development, especially through productive twinning partnerships with the several Rwandan districts. This relationship is reinforced by the good development partnership that Rwanda enjoys with Germany as a whole. Minister Schulz, I'm happy to see you again so soon after your visit to Rwanda. Since 1982, a lot has changed in Rwanda, in Germany, and in the wider world. As we look to the future of the partnership, we should look with fresh eyes at how we can best support each other. In particular, I would like to see more private sector and business linkages from both Rhineland Palatinate and Germany with Rwanda. The presence here of Dr. Zek from BioNTech is an indication. The innovations of this company, based in Rhineland Palatinate, have changed the world for the better and saved countless lives, and we thank you. We are very pleased to have embarked on a partnership with BioNTech to build an mRNA vaccine production facility in Rwanda. This will not only impact and improve Africa's resilience in the face of pandemics, but also transfer skills and knowledge to young Rwandan engineers and scientists. We welcome even more of this kind of productive people-to-people exchange in our partnership with Rhineland Palatinate. I can also mention the program to train Rwandan engineers at the Technical University of Kaiserslautern, which has been very beneficial. This is a model we can look to extend. 28 years after the genocide, Rwandans are a people with a totally changed mindset. Now, there will be many questions talked about, but all we draw from that is that as we see today and saw yesterday, and it will be there in the future, I think for every country, developed or less developed, everything, politics, security, stability, governance, is work in progress. Every country, without exception. So that's why the word partnership is always going to be important. And in a partnership, people have mutual respect. They disagree, they agree. Above all, they continue working together moving forward. But Rwandans have not wasted any time to learn lessons of our own situation or lessons we can draw from the strength of partnership we have with different people, especially with Rhineland-Palatinate and with the federal government of Germany. And we look forward to continuing in that way of mutual respect and working together. And that's what makes sense of any partnership. Rather, we seek, therefore, to take charge of our destiny by partnering with countries, friends, like Germany, like Rhineland-Palatinate, to build world-class institutions and a healthy, highly educated population. Going forward, this is the spirit that should guide and anchor our partnership.
The partnership between Rhineland-Palatinate and Rwanda began in 1982 as an unusual attempt by the two countries to reshape development policies and has now become an internationally recognized model of citizen-oriented, decentralized and efficient development cooperation at the local level. This form of grassroots partnership is based on the encounter with mutual respect and esteem and aims to go beyond the pure development cooperation to a partnership in everyday social and cultural life. It enjoys an excellent reputation among the Rwandan population and is also deeply rooted in the population of Rhineland-Palatinate.
All right, now in more news, Rwanda's senior defense and security advisor in the office of the President General James Kabarebe has assured the private sector practitioners and Rwandans in general that the country is safe and secure for now and years to come. He based on this to urge everyone, especially the private sector, to speed up the country's development, stressing that they have a big role to play in the country's economy and that the social life of the citizens in general as well.
General James Kabarebe addressed the recently elected 400 members of the private sector's leaders from the national level all the way down to the district level about the country's liberation struggle and the role of the private sector. The general pointed out that the private sector has made a significant contribution to the liberation struggle and have maintained that to significantly contribute to the development process after liberation. He emphasized that security is the basis of trade and investment, assuring private sector practitioners to work without any worry about their security, stressing that Rwanda is secure enough to the extent the country has over the years been engaged in peacekeeping missions around the globe. You can see that our country is stable. What His Excellency did was to build our country's security system and make it strong enough to last for generations and generations. When the security system is stable, the remaining task is to build the sustainable development. The private sector is the heart of the country. It is the private sector that will determine the nature of our politics. Yes, the country has a leadership system, but the private sector is stronger than any other sector. I wish they knew. General James Kabarebe also called on the private sector to work together for the betterment of the people and for the security of the country as well as for the rest of the country. The general also called on the private sector to join hands for the betterment of the people and make use of the security of the country by speeding up the development as well as making most of various bilateral partnerships and relations that the country has established. Some of the private sector practitioners testify that they were greatly encouraged by the discussion. Even Rwandans know well that alone you can achieve less. So people now know that coming together helps achieve even more tangible results with the fact that our country is secure. Looking at the neighboring countries, Rwanda is very secure, and that gives us assurance to work at ease and achieve more. So our security will motivate us to achieve great things. Robert Bapakurera, president of the Private Sector Federation PSF, noted that although there is still a long way to go, a lot has been achieved. Most of you go to different African countries. You work from there. You are very well aware of what corruption means and the way it hinders traders' activities and the country's development at large. I can say we have been liberated from that as Rwandans. I remember in 2006, we were working on a project that needed 3 billion Rwandan francs, and we had to get loans from 4 banks to complete the project. In the recent years, our banking system have improved in the capacity. Private sector practitioners were further urged to make use of the opportunities at hand and avoid anything that can cause them to backslide. The country might have insecurity issues and conflicts, but when the private sector is strong enough, it leads the country, simply because the private sector doesn't look at anything else like ethnicity or other hindrances. The private sector just looks at what brings profits, not considering anything else. Therefore, when the private sector is strong enough, it outwins other differences. During this 3-day retreat taking place in Nyamata, Bugesera district, the leaders of a private sector were also given discussions by various agencies including the Rwanda Development Board, RDB, the Ministry of Trade and Industry, the Rwanda Revenue Authority, and more. The retreat is expected to end on Tuesday. And now, as we move ahead, residents in different areas say it is still challenging for them to receive quality services from local authorities. They point out that their time is constantly wasted by this, and they could have used it to be more productive. And the Rwanda Governance Board, RGB, is of the view that the use of technology in various sectors is an effective way to provide quality services. Precious Chidezi filed this report.
Local authorities like sector offices are filled with several residents seeking different services in the early hours of the morning. We got here early and we're likely not to receive the services we're seeking by the time we leave. Quality service depends on where you're getting it from. The most challenging situation for me has been when the person I am seeking the service from is using their phone rather than attending to me. The use of technology for service provision is one of the areas the Rwandan government is investing their effort. Irembo Services comes at the forefront of availing quality service to residents instantly without them having to wait in line. Here is what some of the service providers had to say about it. These things are not hard to do to ensure a customer is availed the service they are seeking. We are aware that people might have other engagements to attend to, but when they get to work, it shouldn't take hours to deliver a service. The RGB CEO Usta Kaitesi says it is within every citizen's rights to receive quality services.
Kimwe mu bintu byagaragaye nk'ingeso mbi cyane ni uburyo tubwira abo twakira.
One of the behaviors we don't condone is the way in which customers are spoken to. It's surprising to find residents of a certain district tell you that one of the things that hinder them is the rudeness service providers approach them with. That a survey has revealed happens 51% of the time. Service providers don't think of the effects their poor service delivery is going to have, because when you think of the losses that's going to incur, you don't sabotage the delivery. The use of technology service provision is yielding solutions for these issues. Only in a few instances will you find that a service was delivered wrong due to a shortage or lack of resources. Only in a few instances will you find that a service was delivered wrong due to a shortage or lack of our resources. One of the things that can be commended is that services that rely on technology have been improved, though that comes with challenges of its own as well. Costs associated with services like transport in regards to legal services are non-existent because everything is conducted virtually, which is also time-consuming. The director of the Institute of Research and Dialogue for Peace, Eric Ndushabandi, points out that for the service provision problem to be solved, There has to be collaboration between different sectors to hold service providers accountable.
hakenewe ko société civile.
It is crucial that NGOs and private researchers collaborate to ensure that there is consistent accountability for the resolutions that have been made regarding service provision.
2021 service provision survey shows that local residents have had challenges like being asked to go from office to office, seeking services and not being made aware of what the requirements to obtain the service are before seeking it out. One of the government's objectives is that service provision has a 90% satisfaction rate by 2024. Research shows that the service satisfaction rate from local authorities stands at 74.1%, which is an improvement from 71% from a survey in 2020. Precious Chirezi, RTV News.
Now, just like other previous host countries in the past, Rwanda will host the Commonwealth Youth Forum that is the centerpiece of the Commonwealth Youth Engagement Strategy. Now, it brings together youth leaders from across the Commonwealth to exchange ideas, build networks, identify and debate development issues, challenges, opportunities, and so much more. Now, Rwanda is expecting about 300 delegates to come and descend on the country, as well as youth officials from each member country and others that have been, selected to join. The question today is, how are we as a country positioning our youth to make sure that they can harness the opportunities that a host country is set to gain? So we are joined by Honorable Rosemary Mbabazi, who is the Minister of Youth and Culture, to tell us a little bit more about that. Welcome, Honorable.
Thank you so much, Isabel.
All right. Now, Honorable, we want to understand, what is the ministry doing to make sure that this possibly once in a lifetime opportunity does not just come and roll by, that our young people are set to benefit? I want to hear things like how many young Rwandans will be attending, who is set to be joining this particular forum from across the continent, and in terms of the program, what activities do you have lined up?
Thank you, Isabella, for this opportunity, and I'm so honored to speak about the Youth Forum that is coming up. Just to give the young people the background of what is involved in this program, or the Commonwealth in general. We're talking about 54 member states. So you can imagine the numbers. It's also common in Rwanda, where we have more than 60% are below 25 years of age. And being an asset, young people are an asset for any country if they're harnessed and if they're empowered. So Rwanda, as you rightly say, is honored and delighted to host the Commonwealth Youth Forum, but also CHOGM in general. And the young people are really, really positioned to ensure that they participate and also benefit from all the opportunities that are accruing from hosting this forum. And we are putting up programs that we ensure that the young people are aware of this upcoming big event that is bringing up many, many people that are participating in Rwanda. We will have a forum from 19th to 21st of June, and it will be one of the first events that will be happening. And the young people will be, of course, meeting with other colleagues from the 54 member states, and we expect about 350 young people. But we will have also many side events where the young people will be participating, from the Commonwealth Business Forum to the Commonwealth People's Forum to other forums where young people can also have an opportunity. But besides, I think from the previous speakers that were on Rwanda television, we have an opportunity for the young people to acquire skills, especially upskilling them, reskilling them, where they need skills that are needed, especially to provide services that are required in this forum. It's a huge forum that have different platforms that young people can participate in. And we are so grateful that the young people formed a task force that is organizing this Commonwealth Youth Forum. These are young people from the National Youth Council. These are young people from the private sector, young entrepreneurs. These are young people from the young professionals. These are young people from universities and higher learning institutions. They formed a core team that is working on their own program, that are working on the content, that is customizing the content to their benefits and their own needs. And we're so delighted to say the young people have been driving their forum. They also be participating as moderators. They will also be volunteers. They will be ushers. And it's also a platform for creating networks. And these networks are majorly for opportunities for the young people to participate in. And most especially the young people who are into business. This is a good opportunity for them to showcase what they have, innovations that they have, showcase the products that they have, they want to share with others.
Minister, I want to chip in right there. If you would indulge me. You talk about, the opportunity for them to participate, but sometimes it doesn't come natural for every entrepreneur or for every change agent that wants to position themselves. Are we doing some capacity building for them ahead of time?
We have programs we call Youth Connect Hangout. It's a hangout that connects young people to opportunities. It's a virtual platform that connects them from wherever they are. So we have this platform that is already connecting young people in universities. And we also have the platform of the private sector young entrepreneurs. We also have a big network of young people in Youth Connect awardees and the young people in agriculture in particular. So this is a platform that we're already using and where we pick even speakers and where we pick organizers of this forum. So it's already an ongoing platform that is already connecting young people towards the kind of opportunities that they might want to tap into or network with others that are coming from other countries.
All right. All right. Thank you so much, Minister. We appreciate you sparing the time to talk to us. And for those of you that have joined this conversation, that was the Minister of Youth and Culture, Honorable Rosemary Mbabazi. You're still watching RTV News with Isabel Masozera and Sam Karisa. Now, more news. A delegation of 42 generals and senior officers, as well as students from the Armed Forces Command and Staff College of Nigeria, is in Rwanda for a study tour that will end on Sunday. Now, the delegation led by Brigadier General Ibrahim Bidou on Monday visited the Rwanda Defense Forces headquarters. There they witnessed a presentation of the RDF's transformation journey. The head of the delegation emphasized that the college students are focusing their research on socio-economic development as well as defense and security matters on the African continent. The senior military officers from the Armed Forces Command and Staff College of Nigeria also paid their respect to the victims of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi at Kigali Genocide Memorial and visited the Campaign Against Genocide Museum in the morning, beg your pardon. Now, during their week-long tour, the delegation will be able to get briefs on RDF's healthcare, welfare and production projects such as Zigama, CSS, and the military medical insurance, as well as the Rwanda Military Hospital. They will also visit other government institutions.
And moving ahead now into justice matters, the genocide suspect Laurent Wichibaruta has gone on trial in France for crimes he is accused of committing here in Rwanda back in 1994 when he was the prefect of the used to be Gikongoro prefecture. Now 78-year-old, the defendant is facing charges to do with a genocide conspiracy to commit genocide and crimes against humanity, all committed the genocide against the Tutsi that claimed more than 1 million lives. He is accused of committing the crimes in what is now the southern province, mainly in different parts of the present-day Nyamagabe district. Genocide survivors in the district say Laurent Wichibaruta was responsible for massacres of thousands upon thousands of Tutsi at Murambi, Chanika, Kaduha, and elsewhere. More than 100 witnesses are to appear in the French court to testify in the trial for both against the accused. If found guilty, the former prefect faces life in prison.
special thanks to our guest today, the Minister of Youth and Culture, who took off time to speak to us about how the ministry is ensuring our youth do not miss out on this great opportunity. And for those of you that took to our social media to give us your thoughts on how that can be done, we also appreciate you. I'm Isabel Masozera with my colleague
Sam Kalisa.
And on behalf of the entire news team here at RBA, thank you so much for sticking with us and have a good night.